Hello friendos, it's Bella from the Bookish Badger, and today I'm going to be doing a review of Anne of Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. Where do I even start with this gorgeous, perfect book? So I originally put it on my to-read list because my mom loves the Anne of Green Gables series. She read it a couple of years back, and ever since then she's been telling me how badly I need to read these and how just wonderful they are, but it's been sitting on my to-read list until very recently. I had a feeling I was going to enjoy this book because I had watched a movie adaptation or two in the past and I really liked them, and I recently watched a couple of episodes of the Netflix show and I really liked that. None of that could have clued me in to just how much I was going to adore this book. Essentially, the plot is about this middle-aged brother and sister named Matthew and Marilla who live on a vast farm expanse and are having trouble completing all of the farm chores that they need to due to their age. So they set out to adopt a young boy who will have the ability to help them. However, due to a mishap, they end up adopting a young girl named Anne Shirley, and it's about all the adventures that ensue from there. It would be very difficult in this book to talk about the writing without talking about the characters. The characters in Anne of Green Gables are the most wonderfully written collection of characters I have read in a book, period. There was not one character whom I truly disliked, not one character who I felt was poorly written, not one character who I felt was thrown in there haphazardly, not one character who I felt the book could do without. They all worked together to collectively add and build onto Anne's world and to the town of Avonlea, really truly just bringing this book to life. Not to mention that with the way the author depicts the scenery and surroundings, it becomes a character in itself. It is so vivid and clear and just beautiful in your head that you cannot help but feel that you are right next to Anne while you're reading. Speaking of Anne, I would like to delve into her character a little bit more particularly. Now, I love Dobby so much, but I think Dobby may need to move aside to make room for my new favorite literary character of all time, Anne Shirley. L.M. Montgomery really knows what it is to have an imagination and to feel like a kid, because Anne is just the most whimsical, fanciful, wonderful, dramatic, and just pure character that there ever was. Anne feels emotions so deeply that you cannot help but to laugh with her or sympathize with her or feel whatever emotion she's feeling alongside her. The great thing about Anne, though, is that even in her most dramatic, tragical moments, it always ends up that she is hopeful and optimistic every single time. So you can't help but to come out of this book just feeling so happy and with a giant grin on your face. Now, that is not to say that it is not an emotional book, because there was one point in particular that was so emotional to me and to Anne, therefore to me, that I sobbed. I'm not being dramatic. I sobbed for 15 minutes straight, which makes it the longest and hardest I have ever cried at a book. But the thing about it is that it still leaves you with feeling like there is such a light at the end of the tunnel and there is still reasons to be hopeful and optimistic in this crazy world of ours where so many things can go wrong, that it still, after all that, leaves you so fuzzy and warm feeling on the inside. As a side note, while I am positive I would adore this book in any format I read it, I did listen to it on audiobook, narrated by Lori Klein, and for me that just really added another element of charm and another layer of characterization, and if you have the opportunity to listen to it on audiobook, I would highly encourage you to do so. To conclude, I will actually sit here and beg for you to please not let this book sit on your to-read list as long as it sat on mine, because if you have not yet read it, you are seriously, in my opinion, missing out on a treasure trove of delight out of this book. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on this book. If you have read it, if you haven't read it, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, do not hesitate to give it a thumbs up, do not hesitate to subscribe for more content coming soon, and I will see you in the next video. Bookish Badger, signing off.